Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So till now, we spoke about what data pipelines are and how data moves from source to destination. But one big question here is, do we use the data as it is? The answer is no. Most of the time, data is messy. So in this video, I will explain how we clean and change the data inside the Azure pipelines, and we'll also discuss about mapping data flows, transformation types, expression builder, debug, trigger, and monitor, and also Power Query integration. So don't worry about the technical words right now, just understand the idea behind it. Okay, let me explain this in a simple way. So imagine you get an Excel file from someone. Will you directly send it to your manager? The answer is no. You first remove unnecessary rows, rename the columns, and maybe combine the data and clean wrong values. So that process here is called as the data transformation. So in Azure data pipelines, we do the same thing, but at a very large scale. So now how does the Azure actually transform the data? Azure uses something called as the mapping data flows. Think of it like a visual tool where data comes in, you apply steps, and data goes out. So behind the scenes, Azure uses the Apache Spark. So even if data is very large, it still works fast. So here the best part is you don't need to write the code. You just drag and drop. Now, Azure gives many transformation options, but don't get scared. All of them fall into three simple groups. One group changes the columns, that is the schema modifiers, and one group changes the rows, that is row modifiers, and one group work with multiple data sources, that is multiple inputs and outputs. That's it. Now, let's talk about the first group, that is a schema modifiers. Schema means structure, mainly columns. So whenever you want to add a new column, calculate something, rename a column, or combine columns, we use schema modifier transformations. So just remember this line: schema modifiers equals column changes. Now the second group, which is the row modifiers. Here we don't touch columns, we touch only rows. For example, if you want to remove unwanted rows, sort the data, update some rows, or delete invalid records, we use the row modifier. So just remember, row modifier equals row changes. Now, imagine this situation. If you have one table from sales and one table from customers, you want to combine both, or you want to split the data into two outputs. That's when we use the multiple input or output transformations. For example, we can do join, union, lookup, or even conditional split. So remember, this is used when we want more than one data set involved. Right? Now, the question is, how do we tell Azure what logic to apply? So that's where the expression builder comes in. So expressions are simple formulas like converting data types, checking conditions, calculating values. So you don't write big code, you just write the simple expressions. Now coming to the next, Azure also helps you instead of typing everything, Azure gives a visual expression builder, like it shows column names, functions, or even suggestions. So even if you forgot syntax, Azure helps you. So it is very beginner friendly. Okay, now our pipeline is ready after making all this, but nothing will happen until you trigger it. So triggering simply means running the pipeline. You can run it immediately, manually, or on a schedule. So if you don't trigger, there will be no execution. Now, before using pipelines in real projects, we must test them. So that's where debugging helps. Debugging means run pipeline in test mode, checking the output and fix the mistakes if any. And here monitoring means checking whether the pipeline succeeded and seeing the errors if it is failed. So this is the very most important in real companies. And here sometimes drag and drop is not enough. So Azure also allows code-based transformations by using SQL queries, Python or C Sharp code, and Databricks notebooks. So this is useful when the logic is complex or code already exists. So Azure supports both the styles. Now, if you used Excel or Power BI, you might know Power Query. So, here the good news is Power Query also works in Azure Data Factory. So, you can transform data using a very friendly UI. So, behind the scenes, Azure converts everything to the Spark. Now, so let's quickly recap how we learn how data is transformed, what mapping data flows are, types of transformations, expression builder, triggering and monitoring. So this is the foundation of hands-on work. That's it for this video. In the next videos I will show everything from scratch in Azure, and we will get into more videos. So if this explanation helped you, please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.